the hell was I doing? Hey, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Hello, everyone. I am the one, the only, the truest Lord Pancake, except no substitutes, or else they'll probably just let angels carry you away and won't even bother to stop them. So, what are we doing today, you ask? Why, we are taking a look at Bayonetta, a action brawler that came out quite a while back for PS3 and Xbox 360, but has just recently finally seen a PC release. Now, when this game first came out, it did actually receive quite a lot of praise and acclaim for being a really good, really fun brawler. It also received heavy criticism for its similarities to other franchises such as Devil May Cry, which makes perfect sense, seeing as how Devil May Cry and this are made by the same person. So yeah, probably going to have a lot of similarities, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. The things that has similar to Devil May Cry are all things that you want it to have similar to Devil May Cry. It's fun, it's action-packed, it has a good, deep combat system that, while you may be able to get through via button mashing and so forth, it still definitely has you better off if you actually take the time to learn to play, as it were. Now, the other thing the game got criticism for is the fact that the story is a little bit ridiculous and goofy. And it really is. I mean, Bayonetta is a witch with witchy powers, and she has guns and swords and whips and all sort of things that she fights with. But also, she fights with her hair. Yes, that's right, she can summon demons with her hair. Little bit on the strange side there, but it works. Honestly, to describe this game in a nutshell, I would say that if you took something like Army of Darkness and had it set in the modern day and then directed by Takashi Miike, you would probably end up with a movie that would be about the equivalent of what Bayonetta is as a game. It's a whole hell of a lot of fun. I mean, it's fast, it's action-packed, it's generally just great fun. It also isn't without its great flaws, though. A few that had me scaring the neighbors with screams and so forth. Like, one of the biggest problems with the game, and it's a big problem, is the camera. A lot of times you will be in a situation where all of a sudden the camera will go to an angle that is really, really not helpful. That is basically as far away from being helpful as humanly possible, as if it was designed intentionally that way. And while there is ways to change the camera, it's not always going to be in the most useful way. It's not always easy to get it to focus on the enemy that you're trying to get it to focus on. The other thing is the game's a little bit too, I guess, in love with itself, is the best way to explain it. Where it'll try and do something like really, really cool, and the end result will be it kind of screwing you over as far as like having a cutscene suddenly have a quick time event, or having you suddenly be in a cutscene unexpectedly, and then the cutscene either ends or the time that you have to react is so minuscule that it ends up either costing you a lot of health or just costing you a life. And it wouldn't be so bad if the game didn't count every item you use, every pin you use, every ounce of damage you take against you in like a scoring system. That isn't just benign like, oh, Look at me, I'm in the top 3% in the universe. Woohoo! Sort of combination. It also affects things like the monetary gain you get to spend on things like items and gear and so forth. So it can really end up damaging your gameplay. And ruining your experience in the game. So that's one thing that definitely needs a little bit of polish. And the other really big flaw with the game itself is it feels like it's a little bit too long. I mean, there's definitely points where I felt like, oh my god, is the game ever gonna freaking be over? Are we done yet? Now, admittedly, I was trying to play this in a as fast as possible so I could actually give you guys a full review of the game, because my initial review of the game, my initial thoughts of the game did not show all these flaws. I mean, initially, I was freaking in love with this game. I wanted this game to be like, I wanted 100 games exactly like it, which they're kind of already are, so that's not so bad. But after a while, there were definitely like those flaws, like I was mentioning, with the camera and the game being a little too in love with itself, causing things like cheap, avoidable deaths and other things, and especially with the way the deaths work against the game. So yeah, it turns out to be a lot bigger deal than initially thought. Like, actually, at one point, a good example of just how bad the camera work actually is. Sometimes in the game, in one of the boss fights, you can do your witch walkie thing, which lets you walk on walls in certain areas. And the camera doesn't quite know what to do if you go from the wall back down to the ground again. All of a sudden, the camera's zoning out in all kinds of crazy ways where you have no idea what the hell is going on, and before you can even have a chance to orientate yourself again, half your health is gone because you're getting like a big close-up of a blue wall and things like that. So it definitely has its flaws. But overall, it is a good game. It's a fun game. I enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, honestly, despite the fact that I just said it felt a little overlong and a little definitely frustrating with the way some of the some aspects of the game are, I actually immediately wanted to go through it again, because playing through it one time, it unlocks things like hard mode, and there are additional challenges that you might want to go through. I mean, it's definitely going to lend itself to replayability. And if you can get past some of the flaws, and it's definitely not a age of the game flaw, because by the time this game came out, this was something they knew how to deal with. It was nothing like new or revolutionary. This game came out like late 2010, I believe. It didn't come out like 1999 or anything like that. It came out in 2010. They knew how to do camera work. And outside of that glaring flaw, I would say the game is pretty much a very good game, especially for the asking price of a mere $20, which is kind of a pittance if you ask me. Absolutely worth the asking price, worth your time to play. I give it because of the flaws, I'll give it maybe 3 out of 5 pancakes on a pancake stack there. And those are my thoughts on Bayonetta. If you like my review, make sure you like and subscribe. Please share your thoughts below. I definitely want to hear what your thoughts are on Bayonetta. See if you think I completely missed the mark or something like that. And also make sure you take a chance to stop by my Patreon, which is going to be linked at the end of the video there. It definitely helps me continue creating content for you here. And hey, outside of that, you guys have yourself a great one.